So, in the Expanse, the Free Navy is being propped up as a very serious threat to peace and stability within the system. So I figured today we could look at some of the strategies that could be utilized by the inner planets to defeat the outer ones. I'm Colin, and this is Sci-Fi Deep Dive. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to head down below and hit that subscribe button. Just a heads up before I begin, this video will contain spoilers for the first 2 episodes of Season 6 of The Expanse, so if you haven't seen that, click up here for another Expanse video, which is spoiler-free. So Marco's Free Navy has basically gained complete control of the belt and all of its facilities, which puts the inner worlds at significant risk. You see, the Free Navy's objectives seem to be to overthrow the inner worlds and their dominance of the system, basically placing them in control of the system as a whole. Their efforts to do this involved carrying out attacks against Earth and Mars simultaneously to weaken the inner worlds. So Marco's objectives seem to really be to suppress the inner worlds long enough to force them to surrender, I guess. Basically bombarding Earth with rocks to attempt to keep Earth's navy busy shooting down asteroids, while Mars falls into its own level of chaos with sort of desertion and a dissolving society based around the ring gates, with the rings offering more prosperity than Mars ever could. So how exactly can the inner worlds actually defeat Marco's Free Navy? Well, let's start by talking about what they can do immediately. Now, the most pressing issue, at least for the UN, is to disable the ships guiding the asteroids in. One notable ship is the Azure Dragon, which, as we see in the most recent episode of The Expanse, is actually disabled by the crew of the Rocinante. So with the Azure Dragon disabled and captured by the UN, what is their next step? Well, the most immediate pressing issue is to intercept any rocks that have already been triggered, where their engines have been fired and they're on a course to collide with Earth, now that they have that information which they have captured from the Azure Dragon. Following that, I believe the UN and the MCR should hit very specific targets while carrying out a sweep of the belt. Basically, the sweep's objective is to clear out any of the rocks that have engines that could be activated later on. This would neutralize the threat from the rocks even if Marco sent out a ping from another location. But on top of that, there are 2 very key strategic targets that the UN needs to hit to cripple the Free Navy. Not that the Free Navy really stands much of a chance in a stand-up fight, but this would wipe out any chance of them pulling off some sort of a Hail Mary. The first is Taiko. Taiko Station is the largest shipyard in the belt, and probably the Free Navy's largest resource. With Taiko under their control, they can continue to manufacture ships and modify existing ships to function as warships. With Taiko either destroyed or captured by the UN, or at least disabled by the inner worlds, the Free Navy loses their ability to build new ships and new equipment to fight an ongoing war. This severely limits the number of ships that Marco can field. The second major target that needs to be hit basically right away is the ring gate itself. With the Free Navy having basically exclusive access to the ring, taking the ring would basically cut the Free Navy off from any colonies they've established through the Nexus. This would leave the Free Navy limited to the resources they already have in the system, which, while it does include several very capable Martian warships, also includes far more sort of cobbled together belter skiffs and rockhopper ships with guns on them. These ships, by the way, are no match for purpose-built warships of the UNN or the MCRN. Beyond that, though, there's one thing the UN really shouldn't do. They really shouldn't be trying to kill Marco Inaros. While he may be a symbol to the people of the belt, his death would be even more of one. If they were able to kill Marco Inaros without sufficiently locking down the belt, it would lead to even more riots and uprisings. After all, then, from a belter's perspective, Marco Inaros died a martyr, basically giving his life to try to free the belt, and that's a far more inspiring image than the rocks hitting Earth. Instead, they should focus on weakening Marco's forces and taking strategic points from him one by one, sweeping through the belt and removing just the ships that aren't command vessels, leaving maybe only Marco's command fleet remaining. Once his movement has effectively been neutralized and there's just a few sort of holdouts remaining, then you can go in and take the kill shot on Marco Inaros himself, since at that point his sort of message has been contained. But these strategic flaws of the Free Navy that would be exploited in this plan aren't necessarily the only downside of the faction. The Free Navy has a lot of other internal problems, and I talked about them last week in a video about exactly what the Free Navy is. And if you'd like to check that out, I'll leave a link up here to that video. And I want you to let me know down in the comments what you think of this plan to defeat the Free Navy. Do you think Marco would be able to outmaneuver this? Do you think there's a key flaw in the plan I've put forward? Or do you think this would basically be a death sentence for the Free Navy? And if you have anything else you'd like to see me cover in The Expanse, leave it down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.